Good afternoon. Welcome to our series, Driven Her Way. I have Lindsey Haraden today. She's the general sales manager for Mohawk Honda. So excited to talk to you, Lindsey. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's just jump into a couple questions. You guys have a family-owned business. Been in the business 106 years. That's incredible. But I guess people assumed that maybe you were born into the business and that um, you were always working in the automotive industry, but that's not the case. What was the one moment you realized that you wanted to be part of the automotive industry and your family's business?
Well, my dad kind of sold me on it. I was in hospitality prior, which can be seasonal. And we joke around all the time that, selling cars are just like selling high-end cuts of beef. So at that point, I just took his encouragement and decided to see what dealership life was all about. But I've only been here 13 years and I was in hospitality prior too.
People say once you get in the automotive industry, it's really hard to get out of it, right?
I'd have to agree with that.
So you started out in the service department at Mohawk Honda before you were working your way all the way up to general sales manager. What was the first job like and how did it shape to where you are now?
Yeah, so I answered the phones in service. I was a service appointment coordinator. How I lead in my role now, with starting there and wearing a multitude of hats. Something that I really pride myself on is that I've walked in other employees' shoes. There's nothing that I'm not willing to do now, that I wasn't willing to do then, that I'm not going to ask someone else to do. So I think over the years, I've gained the respect of a lot of the employees that, at times I do ask a lot. I will own that, but it's not something that I haven't already done myself or that I'm not walking hand in hand with them to just overall create a better customer experience or continue to help them grow as I was afforded the opportunity to do.
So Mohawk Honda, as I mentioned, has been around for 105 years and now you're running it with 4 generations. What does it feel like to carry that torch every day? And how is it working with your family?
It's truly awesome. My dad and my uncle have created such a great they're such great role models. We weren't always in this absolutely beautiful state of the art building, Honda's Blue Stage, image store. We started back on State Street. We did have that building for, up until I think 2 years ago. So it was over 100 years old. And my dad and Steve, like, have also done everything. So they've set that example. It's absolutely amazing to work with my two cousins. Sam and Tyler sell cars here. And to be that mentor for them that I had as I was coming up is something really special because we get along very well. They respect me and I respect them, and there's nothing that I wouldn't do for them. Just so to continue to be a part of their growth and their trajectory. Them only being here, I believe, not to say only, but 5 years versus my 13 tenure. I've seen a lot, and I've gone through a lot of. There's a lot of fluidity to the automotive business. It's ever changing, and you're always adapting. So to take that life experience when they might be struggling with a particular part of their job and tell them based on experience, it's really cool. My dad and Steve have created such a great example as far as all they do for the community, and the three of us really get involved with various organizations that stand out to us, whether it's attending something or doing a yard cleanup, or Tyler didn't work last Saturday to be a part of a disc golf tournament for the Boys and Girls Club. But you meet people at different events, and you kind of bond with them and you become a part of their mission, and you just want to do good alongside them. So we're afforded a lot of opportunity, not only within these four walls, but out in our community to be able to, make these relationships and meet. That's the coolest part about the car business, is the people that you meet along the way.
I couldn't agree more. How did Tyler do?
I guess they won. And then my
Awesome.
not to take away, my brother Dylan also works at our Chevrolet store. So I work with him on some fleet deals, some government municipality deals when they're looking for Hondas. And Dylan is just doing an absolutely amazing job. But Dylan was at that tournament as well, and he is just as involved as the two of them. I just don't see him on a day to day basis.
I love it. I love it. So,
Thank you.
another thing that you guys do to bring to the table is bringing women into the dealership and hiring really, smart, educated women, setting that tone within your dealership. What are you guys doing to bring bring more women to your team?
Well, we do have a page on our website that highlights rather all of our not only the jobs that are available, but the women that are in those roles. From how many years they've been here to what positions they've held to I think there's even some like what their interests are. Getting my face out there. They just recently honestly did a commercial of me for the first time after being here for 13 years, and kind of telling my story of how I started in hospitality. And that line about selling cars is very similar to selling fine cuts of beef. That's actually in the commercial. So it's great when people come in and know my story and where I started and what I've done. And the fact that a woman is running the sales department when you come in for your first interview and you're a female and you've never worked in automotive, or maybe in what I have experience with firsthand as far as interviewing for a sales position. I think it breaks down walls and barriers. I think a lot of the stigma of like automotive being a man's world is pretty well a moot point at this point, but it certainly does help having me in the driver's seat, as far as what we do here. And customers also feel comfortable transacting, and we have quite a few women in all different multitudes of positions here, from service to sales to greeters to detail to technicians. So, if you have a passion and there's a place for you here, there's no reason just because you're a female that you wouldn't be a great candidate for that role.
What would you tell a young woman walking into the dealership for her very first day and, wondering if she really belongs there? What is her purpose and is she there for the long term? What advice could you give her?
Everyone belongs. It doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. We truly are a family here, and we go out of our way to congratulate you or stop and ask you if you're okay when we notice that you're not quite yourself. There's just a sense of community here. So I would tell them, whether you have experience in automotive or you don't, we really pour into our people as far as training and wanting the best of whether it's at work in growth or personal growth. That every person in this building in a leadership role and not really takes an interest in who you are as a person. So don't be nervous, and you know let's go.
Mhm.
Let's join, like, come join the team.
I love it. I love it. How has your partnership with dealer teamwork made a difference for you and what did they do that mattered?
Dealer teamwork is a true partner. A lot of vendors throw the term out there and don't follow through with it. They truly understand our vision and desire to, set a new standard. We really feel that they're not afraid to push us to try new ideas and strategies, and often pushing us out of our comfort zone. We always know that they have our best interests at heart.
What are you trying to do now for women coming up in the industry that are following in your footsteps?
I'm trying to encourage and walk alongside the women that are coming up. I've created a lot of bonds with so I manage 27 sales consultants, and 6 of them are women. So to say that I have a unique bond with women over my male employees, I don't think there's a huge difference there. But certainly women can be emotional, and I'm emotional, and I understand it better than anyone else. So I always have an open door policy. And I always want to know, what I can do to help them navigate the journey of life. So I find that in all of my employees, I take an extra interest in just continuing to either help them. Again, the car business is fluid, so you might be having a great day one day and not the next, but I'm right alongside to bring them out of that and I think that people do like talking to me and confiding in me because I'm a good listener. The people that do know my trajectory, where I started in service answering the phone and I sold cars. I walked in their shoes for 5 years, and I'm not full of myself, but I did it well. I reached the platinum level with Honda, which is the highest level you can. It was more of a point to prove, I guess, at that point. But I love people and I love cars. So doing that hand in hand, you know, I succeeded, and I'm very proud of that. Again, to have walked in their shoes, I just feel it's a lot easier to form the bonds and to be able to give firsthand advice as to, again, not everybody's me, but here's what I did. Here's what worked for me. If that doesn't work for you, let's come up with a plan together. And you tell me how you want me to hold you accountable. And that's been working for us. And our team is just, it's like no other. And I'm just so grateful to be a part of it.
It sounds like you've really built a very nice team just with not just women, but men and just, everybody at your dealership having that, family feel, the open door policy, and that you've been in their shoes before. So, kudos to you and what you're doing for our industry too. So, thank you, Lindsay, for that.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. I appreciate you having me here today.
Yes, and thank you for meeting with us at the end of the month. I know this is a very busy time for you guys at a dealership, and much appreciated to take this time to talk with me.
I can do it because of the team we have. So thank you.
There you go. There you go.